Welcome to Modern Entrepreneur. I'm Landon Ray, and today I have Alejandro Rioja, who's the founder and chairman of Flux Ventures, a holding company that owns one, Flux Chargers, an e-commerce store that sells the Flux portable charger, two, Flux.la, a digital marketing agency that focuses on SEO and PR, and three, Young Slacker Media, a series of websites that cover anything from blockchain news to viral content. His company also launched an iOS game called Poos Caboose and an algorithm to trade cryptocurrencies. Holy crap. And I'm just gonna drop the obvious bomb here, which is that this guy is 13 years old. Actually, no, he's 22 years old. So thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I'm kind of already blown away that you've been able to, even if all these things are actually total failures, that you've even been able to start this much stuff at age 22. What is going on with you?
Yeah, it's been a great learning experience throughout the whole Flux Ventures journey over the last 2.5 years. And you know, the way we see Flux Ventures is like something similar to what Richard Branson has built, although way smaller right now.
Obviously. You
know, I really look up to him and I identify with him when he's built all these different virgin companies, and I would love to do the same with Flux. And the way we're approaching our businesses with Flux is mostly as a learning experience where we are dabbing into different industries and different products and see what we can do best and what we like.
And what have you found?
Well, we started with our product, which was the portable charger, which is a charger that comes in with built-in cables for iOS as well as Android. And we noticed that the success of that e-commerce business was really all about the marketing and online sales that we were doing. So we launched Flux LA as a business to do the marketing for not just ourselves, but our friends as well. We noticed that more people wanted those services, so we grew that company to an actual company. And then from the revenues of both companies, we started doing other projects as well, such as what you mentioned, like the sites and the blockchain things and things like that.
Yeah, I usually ask this question of people who are going to look back over their careers over maybe a decade or two, but you got 3 years under your belt. You know, what tip would you give your 18-year-old self that would have made this easier?
Yeah, I graduated high school in Bolivia in 2012, December, and I had till September of 2013 to come to UCLA. So I had about 9 months to start doing something, and I started a company with a friend, and it was Craigslist for Bolivia type of stuff, where we would advertise and do things like that. And that was the first company, and then we did Flux like a couple of years later. What I'll tell myself is just to really meet more people, you know, because one of the biggest things that really moved the needle in Flux was the fact that I was able to network with people that were 10, 100 times, 1,000 times ahead of me, that could teach me what they have done and you know what I should and should not do in my own business.
So how do you did you systematically approach those people, or create a system around reaching out and using those relationships? Or
it first started just being organically, people that I'll meet at conferences or people that I'll read about on newspapers and things like that I'll reach out to them. And then I went a little bit more systematically, and I started finding people on Facebook that were in my same industry and adding them and chatting with them and see if there was any sort of collaboration
and that's turned into something valuable.
Yeah, definitely. And I learned so much from many different people. And there's some very valuable groups on Facebook and websites that I regularly visit to learn more.
Awesome. But you got a lot of things going on. Obviously a busy guy. Also in school, or you graduated
I
now?
just finished UCLA.
Congratulations.
Thank you. What
is your unique skill set, do you think, that has allowed you to take all this on and be successful at it?
I don't know if it will be unique, but one of the biggest things that really helped me manage all this was actually putting in the time. I was putting a lot of time into the business and try to learn how to do things more efficiently. So maybe putting 10 to 14 hours a day working on it. And also the fact that once I did something, I wanted to make sure the next time I did it was more efficiently, either through scripts or just like a process that I could follow, that I was foolproof, that I could either delegate to someone or do kind of more mindlessly. And like I said, the businesses were built somewhat logically. So we started with the e-commerce business. We noticed that we really needed sales coming from SEO and PR. So we did that for ourselves, and then we noticed that we could do that for someone else. So the things that we were doing will benefit each other. So the more sales and marketing that we were able to accomplish with our own company will definitely directly help the other one.
Yeah.
And those two revenues will fund Flux Capital, which was pretty much what helped us fund other projects as well.
And which one of these businesses do you spend most of your time on today?
Well, I actually just quit my job.
Oh.
And,
Of course you did.
It was in August. I stepped from CEO position to chairman, and I saw that my co-founder was really exerting a really great leadership, so we decided to have him as the new CEO. I left and moved to a different company. We're now doing memory hardware at UCLA at a company called Inston, and that's a company led by a professor at UCLA that he saw what I was doing at Flux. He liked the energy that I was putting in, and then he decided to bring me on board as well there.
So you're going to actually turn this thing into a business.
Yes.
And so what kind of like breakthrough did you have with any of these businesses that feels like kind of like the thing that is working right now that you could share with our audience?
So the thing that really worked for us and that really transformed our business was PR. So when we started the business, we got a box of chargers and we put them online, and no one bought it from our site because no one knew our site, no one knew our product. We had no traction.
Yeah.
So what we did was we took those chargers, went to Santa Monica, 3rd Street Promenade, and sold them in the streets.
Hustling.
Hustling. A couple hours every weekend, and we started getting some capital so that we can reinvest it into online efforts.
I love it.
And we were doing that, and we were making some progress. We were making some progress on the SEO side. And one of our keywords for this particular product was portable chargers. And if you search that keyword, you will see that the top 10 results roughly are from review sites that will compile lists.
Right.
So we decided to reach out to them one by one, and I went from top to bottom because that was the best use of my time. Reach out to them and I follow up, and it wasn't really successful with that. And then I found that the best way to reach out to a writer was in these 3 channels: was Twitter first, then Facebook, then email. What really worked for us, because we were hardware products, is to send a free sample and see what they thought. It was just there was no obligation of a review, just seeing if they would like it, and then if they could write a review. Yeah.
And then they did?
And they did. And Digital Trends put us as #1, and that completely changed the whole game, because through that review, we were able to leverage that review and ask, for example, Mashable or Yahoo Tech what they thought about it, and then they were more willing to look at our product.
I mean, the thing I take away from that is that you have like a lot of pretty like methodical, strategic thinking that goes into what you're doing, and it doesn't it's not like magic. It's just like, I need money, I'm going to go hawk this stuff on the streets. I need to get on this website, I'm going to call them up. But you also obviously are bringing a lot of kind of like method and systemization, like from day one to this process. Where does that even come from?
I said like I work 10 to 14 hours a day, but I actually learn like half of that time, and the other half I implement what I learned. So I spend a good amount of time reading websites on marketing, just finding tutorials on YouTube, and just chatting out with people that are, like I mentioned, ahead of me, so they can share their own tips and things like that.
Yeah.
Watching this podcast, for example, and things like that.
Well, it's impressive. So, what are you working on right now? Like, what is your own personal cutting edge? What are you learning?
Throughout this past 4 years, I really try to focus on personal development. So, for example, when I was a freshman, I set myself a challenge of meeting 1 new person a day, and I was successful. And it was very easy to meet people in college and things like that. I did that because I didn't know anyone when I got here, and I wanted to grow my network. So now my personal challenge is to really grow on the business side and learn. Especially at Inston, which requires me to learn a lot of business and semiconductors, knowledge. To have that knowledge, I'm really just investing my time in learning different skills in venture capital and fundraising that I wasn't really exposed at Flux because of the nature of the business. It was more of an e-commerce business. Now this one's it's a more hardware, cash-heavy business.
So you're gonna have to figure out how to go raise a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Interesting process.
Yeah, at Flux I was the CEO, and at Instant there's a board I had to report to, and it's been a different experience. So at Flux, I was kind of like the obstacle of what we could do, because up to what I learned is what we could do.
Right.
On the other hand, there's a lot of more senior people that are able to guide me and see and show me what's possible, and open up my horizons and tell me what to learn and where to get it.
Well, great. So. I normally ask this question of people that are much older than you, but if you can imagine at age 22 what you might wish your legacy to be, what do you think it might be? Like, 30, 40 years down the road, what will you have liked to have created?
There are two things that I really want to or do before I die, I'd say. One of them will be to build a long-lasting company, one that creates products, and I think that might be Flux or that might be Instant, that creates products that really change the lives of people, that people know this brand and really identify with it, and then they could see what we're up to. Something similar to like Apple or things like that is something what I've been really passionate about since I was very young. And the second thing is just going back home, Bolivia, and kind of like setting that thing up there, because the opportunity that I've had is not common. I'm the exception of just being able to come to the U.S.
Sure.
So I'm very aware of that, and I'm also very lucky, and I'm also very grateful. And I would like to kind of like even out or just help out some of the people that in Bolivia I think deserve the opportunity but don't have it. So to go back there and kind of set up something there as well. So those two things will be what I would like to do.
Yeah. So we have called this thing Modern Entrepreneur, and the point of that is to try and take a look at what the kind of unique opportunities of this moment in history are, right? Like things are changing so fast, and entrepreneurs have new kind of opportunities and also maybe new responsibilities as leaders in our communities. What do you think those are in this unique moment?
I think the big opportunity is the knowledge sharing economy that is currently right now. You can learn anything on Google, and I sometimes find like those excuses of people that say that I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that, kind of like little childish sometimes, when you can learn all those things on YouTube, Google, things like that, books. So I think that's a very important thing where you can learn a lot of things, and also it's a very it's a unique opportunity in the fact that in the sense that we can reach a lot of people through social media and through different other channels that were not available a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And impact and really shift customer perceptions and mindset. I think it's a good opportunity, but it's also a big responsibility that we have in the sense that we shouldn't make people think, I guess, the wrong things. Or, so we should be careful about the power that we have and how we distribute it, or how we distribute that knowledge.
Yeah. Well, Alejandro, I really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Will you sign on our wall?
Yeah, absolutely.
See you later.